Hi everybody, Richard Tromans here again from Artificial Lawyer TV. Today we're doing another product walkthrough. This time it's Litera, and in particular the Litera Transact product. To tell us a bit more about it is Derek. Hi Derek.
Hi, Derek Davis, Senior Product Manager for Litera Transact. Excited to show you the product today.
Fantastic. Thanks, Derek. Thanks for being with us. Well, look, let's just go straight into it. If you could give a bit of an introduction and walk us through, that'd be fantastic. Please take it away.
Absolutely. So before we jump into the product, quick walkthrough. What does Litera Transact do? We're a legal workflow management tool. So we take the pain out of managing large transactions. Things like running checklists for your deal out of an Excel spreadsheet, trying to gather signer information, trying to gather signature pages, stitching all those things back together to come out with a final closing book, get all the documents that you need for a deal. That's where we sit. End to end, we're a product that helps streamline that entire process. So we have pieces of our product that address each part of that workflow. Some customers come to us because they want an end-to-end solution. Some customers can come to us because they want help with one individual piece of the product. So that's overall what we are, kind of at a high level. We can jump straight into it and talk about some of the key parts of Transact and some of the things that we're most excited about in the product today, and some of the things that we're really excited about coming soon as well. So right now, I'm at what we call our working group list screen. This is where you go to set up who's in your deal. So this is where you can manage which organizations, just which parties, everyone that's involved, can organize them, set them up here. We won't go into the kind of weeds of how all of this is set up and everything that you can do, but we can see here we have the Buyer's Council. It shows us how many organizations and folks that are in it. Same with the Seller's Council. The main thing that I wanted to touch on from the screen to call out is this permissions button. So one of the things that we really take very seriously on Transact and put a lot of thought into is how we manage access to things. In the legal world, as you're managing a deal, different parties, different people have access to different things, need access to different things. So you can come in here and without going through all of this, the entire platform, all of the data, all of the functionality is something that you can permission at an individual level or at an organization level to make sure that everybody can see and do only the things that they need. The big piece, or my favorite piece, I suppose, of Litera Transact, though, is the checklist. So jumping into that, that's really kind of the heart of the product. Taking a glance here at what a checklist could look like, we have, you can see row items here for each one individual item, and then we have various columns that you can put on your checklist. So here we have document status, due date, assigned to, status notes. These are all customizable, so you can come in here, edit your checklist, choose which columns you want to show. You can create custom columns. You can format this to be whatever you need for your deal to make sure you're getting the information that you need. So one of the things that we have is kind of a guiding mantra for Litera Transact is something we say, meet the lawyers where they are. And that's how we look at our product and how we try to make decisions about what we build and how we build it. And one of the things that we've been really excited about in the last 6 months is a big push towards customization. Letting people come in here, you can craft the checklist to have the columns you need. You can hide the things you don't. We can make this a tool that lets you manage deals the way that you need to manage deals. Some of the other exciting things that we're doing on the checklist today, we'll notice the signatures column. We'll talk about this as we get through the product, but one of the other things that Transact does is allows you to create and send out signature pages, and then it gets all of those signature pages back and can collate those back to original documents. We can see here in this column, 0 of or 1 of 2 signers have signed this document. So if I hover over this, I can see Derek Davis has signed, Hannah has not. Same with any of the other items on here. That's one of the various options for columns that exist in Transact that you can turn on if that's something that kind of suits your need. If you open up any of these checklist items here, you can see additional information, the same things that are reflected here, but you can see a history of status notes. You can also open this up, and that's where you can control uploading documents to your checklist items. One of the things that our customers are most excited about with Litera Transact is our integration with various DMS systems. So you can connect to iManage directly, and you can directly move files from iManage to the checklist and from the checklist back to iManage. So this is really the heart of the product of Litera Transact. It's the checklist where you can really manage and see things across your deal. If we Moving over to the next step here, another one of the big features that we have is what we call approvals. So if something needs to be approved, not necessarily signed, but just approved internally, externally by somebody, you can come here, create an approval request, and send out the request. As things get approved, we'll see this update here, and so you can see each document and what the approval status is. For the folks we sent this to, we can also see their name when it was sent to them, and we can send friendly reminders if things are not coming back on time. Signatures, another really big part of our platform. So one of the main pain points that we're really trying to address is how do we make it easier to send out all those signature pages, gather all of them, and keep track of where everything is at. So we have this tracker here. You can see by item and by name, there's kind of a matrix here of what each status is. This is kind of an example of some of the different statuses we could see. So if you send something for signatures, you can tell if someone opened it, you can tell if they signed it, you can tell if it's not been sent yet, and you can get a clear view of where you are in terms of your signatures from the tracker here. The other big piece of signatures for us is the ability to generate and create signature pages in the platform. So if I come down to here, we can see an example of what the signature pages look like. We can see them at an individual user level, so for Derek or Hannah. And if I come back here and choose a different document, we can take another glance here at some of the different things that you can do to create signature blocks. If we can go back to the original one that I was on. So here, some of the various customizations that exist. So you can come here and create a signature block for a user. And these are all the various things that you can toggle on or off. So you can control if you want to display a date, their email, their phone number, their address. All of this pulls from our signer information that we hold. So as signer information is entered, you can come here, turn on various fields, and we'll dynamically pull that information onto the page or create the spaces that we need for people to fill that out as part of the signature process. The exciting thing about being able to create the pages in Litera Transact is that you can create blocks the way you want to, and you can save them as a template and use them again later. So if you have a specific style for your firm of how you need signature blocks to be set up, even things as granular as if things should be bolded or italicized, if you want their title to be below their name, next to their name, you can make those decisions once, save it as a template, and then everyone in your firm has access to this to bulk create these signature pages in the application. When signatures get sent out, approvals are approved, the deal is done, and you're ready to get all of the documents out of our system. Kind of final piece here is our closing books module, where you can come, you could click create closing book, choose which documents you want to add, click create, and the closing book gets saved here in the application. So this is one that we already have done. We could open this up. We'll see a list of the documents that are inside of it. Anybody on the firm who has access to this screen will be able to come here and download the closing book, or you can push this directly to iManage and move it to your DMS system. There's a lot of other things kind of going on through here, but those are some of the highlights and the big pieces of Litera Transact and some of the big problems we're really trying to solve. Really trying to streamline the process of managing a deal and take away as much of the tedious chasing and organizing and tracking that goes on.
Thanks, Derek. Really interesting, really comprehensive. Let's just dig into a couple of questions. So in terms of customers, if they don't already have a Litera license, how do they get this? How do you get hold of Transact?
Yeah, that's a great question. So you can reach out to anyone at Litera Transact or at Litera in general can help point you to the correct person to kind of get involved and get signed up for it. I would go to litera.com or reaching out to anybody really at the company, even myself, derek.davis@litera.com can help get you in contact with somebody if you want to have even just a conversation about the product and how it might fit your needs.
Gotcha. And does this integrate with everything else that Litera has, or is it kind of just a purely standalone product?
Yeah, that's a great question too. Right now, it is in most ways a standalone product. We do integrate with some products at Litera, like Litera Compare. So if you upload two different document versions to a checklist item here, you can run live comparisons and get immediate red lines of those documents. That is powered by, I would say, Litera Compare. But in terms of true integrations, we are a standalone product at the moment, but that is something we're putting a lot of thought into as to how we expand our integrations to include more of the Litera family.
Gotcha. Fantastic. And yeah, just a few sort of technical things. On the signatures, can you choose what kind of signature system? I noticed it said DocuSign. Do you have a range of different signature software you can use, or do you have to use DocuSign?
Right now, we support DocuSign and OneSpan. We also support manual signature processes. So we have a lot of firms that use our signatures module without DocuSign because they want to get kind of wet ink signatures, whether that's because of a restriction in the market that they're in or just their process. We have a lot of customers who use our signatures module without any electronic integration.
Gotcha. Actually, you raised a good question, which is the sort of global nature of deals. I mean, this can be used in any country. This isn't just particularly for US type of deals or English types of deals. This is adaptable to any type of deal.
Correct. We have customers using this worldwide.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And in terms of the deals themselves, I mean, this wouldn't necessarily just have to be an asset purchase. It could be any type of transaction. It could be, anything which required this type of process.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely see a lot of our customers using this for M&A venture capital, but truly this is a product that can be used for managing any kind of complicated legal related kind of workflow. And we even see some companies using this for kind of insurance purposes where they just need a checklist and they just need approvals and getting approval on things. So we see use cases for this even outside of the kind of the typical legal world that we're really focused on. But to the point of meet the lawyers where they are, that's something we're really leaning into is how do we allow customization? How do we allow people to take this tool and bend it to what they need to do for their individual situation, which might not always be as straightforward as just a clean M&A deal.
Gotcha. And actually, on that point about customization, I mean, I imagine for a law firm that was you did a lot of transactional work. I mean, how far can you customize this? I mean, could you customize it a great deal? So it's literally set up just for the way that you do particular deals, or a particular practice group does their deals.
Yeah, certainly. So customization kind of spans a lot of areas on our product. There's customization to the point of you can switch Latera Transact logo for your law firm so that when you invite folks, it really looks like it's your tool. Uh, Checklist exports, closing books, we can do things like putting your logo on them as they come out of the system. So there's customization in the kind of that world on what people see in terms of how you manage the deal in the checklist. The only requirement is this column here on the left that says checklist item. Effectively, everything has to have a name, but beyond that, you can turn on or turn off whatever columns you want. You could say none of these make sense to me, and I just want to create my own custom columns and save that as a template and reuse that every time. So we see a lot of customization. It turns out that every law firm that we talk to has a different way of doing things, and every law firm is feels that their way of doing it is the only right way of doing it. And what we've learned is that there's lots of those opinions. So we're looking at customization in as many places as we can, from things that come out of our system to how you can manage the tool inside of it, even to if you as a firm say, I don't want people doing approvals, we have a different process for that. You could come in and turn this off for your entire firm if you wanted to. So really it's up to the user, up to the firm to choose how they want to kind of leverage this technology, and they can bend it how they want to.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I guess just one sort of standard question in terms of security, because obviously this is handling deals, sensitive documents, and you did touch on this at the beginning, but just to reiterate, how do you sort of contain certain documents and certain people separately?
Yeah, so there's various ways of doing that. You can say an entire organization doesn't have access to these items or these documents. Or you can say they have access to this item, but they don't have access to the document itself. Or if someone doesn't have access in iManage, we even look at those permissions. So if a document was brought in by iManage from iManage and you're an iManage user, we can look at you and say, hey, you're at the firm, but you actually don't have access where this document lives. You still can't get access to it. So there's several layers of kind of permissioning and access control that can happen. I would also add that there's automated security scans and tests that run every time we do a release, almost every cycle we finish of development. And we also have pen testing, penetration testing, security tests happening all the time. So security, how we manage it, both in terms of how users can manage their security and the security of the product are top priorities for us all the time.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Thank you. And just one last thing, you mentioned that there may be a new element being released in the next couple of months. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that's something we're really excited about. We're calling Transact 5.0. Transact 5.0 is going to have a lot of big changes for us. We're going to see a big update to the checklist, which is checklist import, something that we've been hearing about for a long time, being able to import your checklist directly from a Word document. That's something we're really excited about, has been feedback we received for a long time. We're going to totally rebuilding our signatures module. So we're going to be adding new functionality, things like a signer import. We're going to be seeing a big next step of our signatures module in 5.0. And then also in closing books, expanding our integration, our DMS integrations for closing books, improving some things around customization of what those pages or index pages at least might look like. We're targeting big improvements for the checklist signatures and closing books in Transact 5.0, looking to get that out this fall. Something else that we're excited to incorporate in that is the last 6 to 12 months for us have been hyper focused on performance, security, everything that we need to make sure that the product is as scalable as it can possibly be. We're at a point now where we test against 12 times the volume that we see from our largest customers in production. So every release, we look at the biggest customer we have, we multiply what they're doing by 12, and that's what we test our system against before every release to make sure that it's as stable and performant as it could possibly be. All those things have been playing out over the last 6 months. So that's another big part of the kind of bundle as we see ourselves rebranding as 5.0. We truly are a new product, really stable, really performant, and really leaning into meet the lawyers where they are, build a product for lawyers that they can use the way that they need to use it.
Thanks, Derek. That's a great overview, and thank you for that extra detail. Well, we look forward to the new additions, the new 5.0 version. But for now, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.